working on the ZJ again today, and I've got this side control arms in. I'm working on modifying. This is a front adjustable coilover spacer for like your XJ, ZJ, all that stuff, TJ. And they sell a rear one of these for ZJ. I can't remember how much it is, but it's just ridiculous that it's more expensive when these are like $60 for a kit of two. So what you got to do is take a washer and a different bolt, and you weld that washer with the nut there in here, so you can use your bump stop, and then that'll hold this in. And then the one they sell, which is basically just a version of this that's like a little bit shorter and has a like a little notch here to fit the unibody. But really all you gotta do is clearance the unibody a little bit, or the spacer, or whatever you want to do, and then use a longer bolt. And this is a 3/8 bolt, and this one's a little bit too short. Looks like a 4-inch bolt. I think this is like a 3, so I gotta go get another bolt for that, and then weld it in. Basically, you're gonna weld it, that washer nut here, then you can thread it on, put it on, and you have your adjustable coilover system for the rear of your ZJ. So, and the nice thing about that is that you can run like your stock rear spring with the progressive spring, which is what I got on this. I bought new springs, but they're progressive springs, stock height, and then all of your lift is controlled through here. And then you can level out side to side, because these Jeeps like to lean, so you can make it sit level. So that's what we gotta do. Clearance this a little. I don't know if I'm gonna do this or the spacer, whatever's seems easier. You probably just take this with a little bit of hammer action, or a little bit of a grinder on this. You really only need to take off a really small amount, and then it'll sit flush in there, just like that. And then it relocates your bump stop. This is the factory one that's totally gone on this thing, and you get your nice internal bump. So that's what I'm working on now. There's a little bit of figuring out, but once it's done, it'll be well worth it. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to weld a nut to one of these washers. That's what we're talking about, so I'm going to clean them up. And then what I did here on that coilover adjuster, I'm going to just take a little bit of material off right there. Kind of made a mark where it'll clear, so not take too much off, and then that'll clear, and we'll be able to put it up in there. Okay, so here's what I've done. I took about that much off. Now, you stick it up in there. It'll be flush up on the body. Alright, so here's what I did on these ACOS. This is just like your average front ACOS for Jeeps. And this is so you can fit it in the rear of your ZJ. You're going to take a washer like this. This is a 5/8 washer. Then I'm going to take some 3/8 nuts and a 4-inch 3/8 bolt. And then on the top ring, so normally this would be up for the front, but I'm going to flip it so it's flat, and then you got to add this angle in on there. So basically you're going to weld the nuts to the washers like this, and then the washer itself will get welded to the Jeep where the old coil, little stubby, holds the coil in place. And then what that's going to allow you to do is use your bolt, and you can bolt in and you have your bump stop. So this is basically what it'll look like. And like I said, they do sell these where this is what they do to them, and you're still going to have to weld the washer and stuff in. So save yourself some money. All you need is in this case, a 4-inch 3/8 bolt, and a couple washers and nuts, and a little bit of time with a grinder. Alright, so I use this thing right here, power file, because these rings wouldn't fit in here. So I used it to thin out this section here from when they make it. Now, that way we can slide the springs in. Alright, so here's where we're at. I got the washers welded up here to the nuts. And basically this thing is going to sit in here like this. And then this washer will be welded there. So when you bolt this on, that's what holds this whole thing up. And then you slide your spring on. Done. So we're running out of daylight right now. So I'm going to do this tomorrow. All you got to do is clean this up right here. Weld that nut and washer on. And then I can do the other side. I kind of left the other side together to hold it kind of in place while I did all this. So, coming together, be done tomorrow. There we go. Now we got a rear adjustable coilover system on a ZJ. So it takes a little work, but I think this will be better. I'll be able to run the progressive springs instead of just putting the front springs in the rear. So I'm having an issue. This sleeve that they give you won't fit on the upper shock mount for the Jeep. So it should fit if I pushed it out though. So here's full droop. Alright, got it adjusted. We're sitting right about a 4-inch lift. I just need to tighten this up real quick. There we go. And this side's done. We'll get the other side done now that we know everything's looking good. I'll figure out something about these, and thinking about how I'm going to mount straps to this thing. We got a lot of travel here. This is what we're looking at when it'll be ride height. It's looking really good.